Emerald Hopkins, Aaron Roos, and Flynn McMully in 24th place. And we are all lined up and ready to go racing here at Indianapolis. Oh god, everything died. And we're back live here at Indianapolis on lap 2 of the KCR F4 United States Championship. Sorry about that. Little small technical issues up out front, but after a chaotic start, we had about like 12 cars involved at lap 1, but leading the race is Mohammed Abiriam, followed by Victor Anderson, Justin Arseneau, Alessandro D'Attilio, Chris Long, Simon Sykes, Luke Wilcomb, Aaron Roos, Will De La Sora, and Josh Pearson. He's actually going into the pit, so Omar Khan is in 11th, but this field is very widespread right now. And I believe Marco is going to be joining me on the mic as we're waiting for John to get back in.
Yes, apologies about that. I don't know what. Someone must have tripped on a cable at iRacing HQ because at the same time me and John were kicked out. So apologies for that. And also my connection never crashed. So something must have gone terribly wrong with the servers at iRacing. And some people were lucky to stay in the server. Unfortunately, me and John were kicked out. By the way, on the left side of the screen, first of all, hello everyone. On the left side of your screen you see the gaps. They will update in time. Might not be 100% correct as it takes a couple of laps for iRacing to send us the correct values from the timing display back to our screen. So apologies for that. Hopefully we can get John in as soon as possible.
Yeah, hopefully his power returns back, but this battle for the lead is still 1 and 2 between Victor Anderson and Muhammad Abiriam, the 33 and 20 car. As we look down the field, we got a battle for 7th place. That's Aaron Roos getting a massive draft attempt from Will De La Sora. He's looking into the pit wall, and oh no! He is hit He tried to go for the inside, then outside, and then went straight into the outside wall, unable to make the move, and Will De La Sora is falling down the grid hard. Oh no.
I wasn't expecting that, Austin, but I saw something very, very similar last night in World Karting. They were racing in this very racetrack with the skip barbers, and sometimes when you turn the wheel just a little bit when the car is at exactly the wrong place at the wrong time here in this very high speed section on the front stretch, and that's all she wrote for Will, unfortunately, as I think he had to tow back to the pits as here at the front. 0.8 of a second between Ibrahim and Victor Anderson. Victor, we saw him race, of course, in the FR Americas Esports Championship up until a few weeks ago, and of course he was one of the protagonists of the Formula Drivers Championship that we had until Sunday, together with Simon Sykes, for example. Of course, we had also Quinlan Lal, Marco Kasic, Bruno Carneiro, and many others who are also racing here today with us, as I think John is back, so I will move behind the cameras once again and leave it to the professionals.
Thank you, Marco, for stepping in and giving everyone at home your lovely Italian voice, as John is working out his microphone right now. So we are currently looking at Justin Arseneau in third place.
My apologies, a giant power blink here at my Bat Cave, Fortress of Solitude, and I got kicked off the server. So nonetheless, we're back, I hope. But Austin, I know you and Marco have been doing a great job keeping everybody up to speed. I'll have to collect myself and figure out where the heck we are here.
Well, you actually aren't the only one that had the power outage. It looked like that was a universal blimp for most of us. I was the only one of the commentators that wasn't affected by this. But battle up front, Anderson and Muhammad weaving down the front straight, trying to break that heavy tow these F3 cars are providing as they dive into turn one. And that turn one is so sketchy and so tight on apex, because that curb on the apex actually goes inward onto the track and doesn't cut off immediately, and it creates kind of a positioning nightmare. But that draft is very crucial here. So they're got cars going 3 wide through turn through the penultimate corner.
Omar Khan and just in front of him, Luboev Ozaretkovskaya, one of our 2 female competitors in the field, as we ride with her now, as she is side by side coming down into turn number 1.
They're going side by side. Oh, look at 3 wide. Omar looking down to the inside, got heavy onto the brakes, and just look at turn 1, so tight, and got very upset. And the car, with that extra weight that these cars are running in to simulate a F4 car in that lower power, just gave him a little bit of a tank slapper, and he went around.
Bruno Carneiro running in the 13th spot right now in the 21 car, just now coming under pressure, just from behind by Kenneth Garcia, as those two side by side down into turn number 1. Carneiro having to give that spot up, so Garcia moving up 1 spot.
Yeah, Garcia went a little bit slow. Bruno was taking it easy going into turn 1, but he has the infield just figured out right now, as we're looking back from Kenneth Garcia's, as down the inside goes Bruno, and they're still swapping wheels and noses.
Great battle as they come onto the Holman straightaway here, the Holman Boulevard straightaway, down into the second best passing opportunity on the racetrack. Hard on the binders.
Looking around the outside, wonderfully defended by Kenneth, and that this is the hardest turn, in my opinion, on this entire circuit. So slow, very low speed corner, and that's the leaders behind them.
Yeah, they're just about to be lapped here, as the 33 of Ibrahim coming up very, very quickly. Mohammed Ibrahim with a 3/4 of a second lead over Victor Anderson. Justin Arsenault in third, about another 3.5 seconds back. Alessandro DiTullio in fourth, and then Chris Long rounding out the top 5. All 3 of them making up some spots here in the early going as the pole sitter Simon Sykes 5 places down from where he qualified.
Oh, Anderson almost getting into an incident as he was looking around the outside. And let's go side by side with Simon Sykes and Chris Long. Sykes had a lot of speed going down that straight. Long looking around the outside. He's going to surrender that space and keep that very high spot of 6th place for him, as the top 10 are very spread out right now. And speaking of being spread out, let's talk about hardest charging right now, because the car behind him, Aaron Roos, who's driving for the same team, started 16 places below from where he was on the grid, and he is currently the hardest charger by a mile.
Yeah, he started dead last, and he's up to 7th spot. So Aaron Roof's doing a fantastic job as we follow him, running pretty much by himself at the moment, as he's got about 18 seconds to make up to get in contact with Chris Long for that 6th position.
Simon Sykes taking a very wide line through the chicane right behind the museum. And now Chris Long looking to make a big old draft charge. And this is Will De La Rosa going off in the museum chicane.
Back with Simon Sykes and that red number 9 spinner there.
Oh, no!
Ooh, that was tough.
That was Omar Khan getting into... Was that Arias?
I think it was. He
No,
was
this
right
is
behind.
Jeremy Fairbairn.
Fairbairn?
Jeremy, just right onto the race line and just reversed
man.
straight in front of him.
Nowhere to go.
And
Absolutely
Jeremy
nowhere to go.
was sitting in dead last actually at the time, and this race couldn't have gone worse for him. And he's back into the pit lane. I think there are helmets being thrown right now.
I can imagine. Back to our lead battle, and it's a good one between Victor Anderson, the Swede, and Mohammed Ibrahim in the 33 car. Mohammed, new to us in this series. He'll be driving for Kiwi Motorsport out of Kuala Lumpur. And maintaining about a 1-second gap over the Swede, Victor Anderson. Justin Arsenault a further 4.5 seconds back in third. But Ibrahim doing a fantastic job, up 2 spots from where he qualified in 3rd position, and showing great pace here. Victor Anderson taking advantage of that big draft on the long straightaway. Some lapped cars there in the distance, as Justin Arsenault not quite in the camera shot. You can see the evolution of the battle, as there is the 19 of our 3rd place runner, Arsenault, who's got about a 1.5 seconds in hand over Alessandro DiTullio in the 13 car, in that orange number 13. And there's Simon Sykes next in the order in the 5th place car. Simon working his way through that turn 2-3 complex, that long sweeping, never-ending turn that leads onto the little chicane onto the Holman straight.
Simon Sykes was actually involved in that lap 1 incident, as Yoder, big amount of understeer going through turns. Those 2 long left-hand turns on that infield, and I think he's actually got a slowdown penalty. No, he's actually letting Simon Sykes by right now, who's going up onto the inside right now. And Simon, this is a recovery drive of ages right now after being punted off on lap 1. He's got the car repaired. Actually, no, he didn't even go into the pits. He was just punted way wide on lap 1, had to deal with a massive amount of slowdown penalties. As you can see, the first driver to actually go into the pit stop is in 10th place. As, oh, that is Chris Long.
Chris Long, yeah. Chris Long running in 6th spot. I don't think he lost a spot because Aaron Roofs was well behind him. But that's going to give Aaron Roofs some new life, as he is leading our hard charger by a mile. As Chris Long, we get a replay there. He just dropped a wheel off at the outside, and around it went.
That grass is so deadly, especially in these tires. If you just touch the grass, it's like it rolling onto an ice skating rink. As this is Lubov and Pearson in the battle for 9th place. Lubov taking that higher line Do you think she's going to just sit behind him and use that draft to her advantage?
I'm guessing she's going to try to stay outside where she is. That'll give her a better run into turn 1.
Pearson dropped back into the draft. Lubov motioning down to the inside. Here comes Pearson looking down to the inside. Side by side, they go hard onto the brakes. Goes both these drivers. Greg Pearson dives it into turn 1 and for 9th place. Wonderful wheel-to-wheel battling here at Indianapolis.
Just at the tail end of the top 10. The top 10 drivers will score points in the FIA point system. The winner gets 25, 18 for second, 15 for third, all the way down to a single point for a 10th spot. There are no bonus points awarded for fast lap or leading laps. It's strictly finishing position.
As Jack Harrison moves up into 7th place as he makes a great move on Aaron Roots, who's got a lot of traffic behind him, but those cars are a lap down.
Again, Aaron Roof's now 15 points to the good, so way out in front of our Hard Charger award. As the 44 of Aiden Yoder off track one more time, as he's having trouble negotiating that turns 2-3 complex. Getting a replay of it here down into turn number 1. Yoder just left the braking way too late.
Well, you know, when you're side by side with somebody, you got to go for that last late breakers. There's a point where you just have to brake, and he's certainly past that point.
This battle for 13th between Kenneth Garcia and Arias Dukmajian.
Wonderful line for Arias going through the museum chicane, and he is lined up and ready for a rocket jump of a draft battle down the front straight. But first you have to go through Indianapolis turn 1, and just after the iRacing Indy 500 happened here, this going through this way is very crazy. They almost have contact side by side across the yard of bricks and racing down. And is that wheel connected to that car? Okay, yes, the 24s.
All four wheels are on, but it looks like so.
It looked like the 24's back left wheel was bouncing around just a bit after that small contact, but no damage to either of these cars.
Dukmajian taking over that spot from Kenneth Garcia, so he moves up into 13th position. Back to Chris Long, who's had an eventful run, but still hanging on to a top 10 spot. Currently in 6th position is Chris Long, and he is not far.
That same corner again, no spin this time. Let's go back live with Lubov as she gets ahead to Pearson one more time into turn 1. Here comes Pearson now, once again diving it onto the curb. And Greg Pearson a little bit overshot it, and oh, that's one of the Wolfpack cars on the outside. That was Andrew Houston in the 1. And Moliani. Did they get it? Oh!
Yeah, Flynn Mulaney got hooked up with him in the 86.
Very unfortunate for both of those drivers. Let's go back to our battle for the lead between Abraham and Anderson.
Ibrahim keeping about a 1 second advantage over Victor Anderson as we've got about 12, maybe 11 minutes remaining. This is a timed race determined by the 30-minute time limit. As once again, Greg Pearson off just a bit.
They're going off in that near Indianapolis turn 2 right after the chicane. It's a very misjudging corner because you can absolutely cut the apex of that corner, but you just carry so much speed through there. You're just so confident, just want to get onto power so much that you'll just get a bit impatient if you go flying off into the grass. And luckily they didn't spin. But this track is certainly proving a very hard track to open up a series in, but it's a very eventful track and a very wonderful track to watch a race in.
Marko Kacik stepping aside to allow the leaders through. So he's the first car a lap down now, running in 11th spot. So only 10 cars remain on the lead lap after this very eventful opening round of the KCR Simulators F4 US Esports Championship. Alejandro De Tullio in the orange number 13, giving chase to Justin Arsenault. That's Justin just up ahead. Less than a second separates these two as they duel for third spot, the final step on the podium. Ibrahim and Anderson well out in front, almost 7 seconds up the road from this battle. But De Tullio looking very strong here on the Holman straightaway. Here's Arsenault, the third place runner, going a little wide, coming off of the Holman straight and through the little S's there.
And that was actually Aaron Roos, not Arsenault.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I got the wrong car number.
They're very similar car numbers, 10 and 19. It's just one of the cars is pink and one of the cars is black. But most of these drivers are running in the FR America's F4 branded cars with Honda power and the Ligier badged cars.
The Ligier JS F4.
Ligier, that's... I get that name wrong so many times.
It's all good. Running on hand-cooked tires in the racing series in real life and the Honda power plant out of the Honda Civic Type R. But this battle for the final step on the podium continues to be a dandy. De Tullio in the orange car, you're riding on board with him right now. And that's Arsenault just up ahead. Is he going to pull the trigger down to the inside? No, he stays in single file.
I think he's just waiting
for
that last lap. And that's probably what Victor Anderson is doing as well. He's waiting for the last moment to use that draft and this slingshot around him, because I think De Tullio is just going to be sitting in that draft as Aaron Roos and Lubov are having a side-by-side battle into turn 1 for P8.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Little bumping going on there between the 48 and the 44.
And then the 87 gets collected.
Jeremy Fairbairn gets collected in that little contretemps.
New fast lap for Simon Sykes, 1:22.570, almost equaling his qualifying time as he's slowly pulling his way back up to that battle for third place. Do you think he's got enough time to catch up to these guys up here?
7 seconds to make up, and we've only got about 7 minutes left in the race. If these guys come to tears, he certainly is in a position to take advantage of it, but it's going to be a tall order. He's running about a second a lap faster, so he might have just enough time to catch up to this battle by the end of the race.
It will be a wonderful redemption story for Simon Sykes if he can get onto the podium after getting punted out of the pole position.
But right at the moment, Justin Arsenault seems to be able to hold his own. His last lap was a 23.5. De Tullio was a 23.4. Sykes, though, at a 22.5, so a full second quicker as these two work their way down the straightaway.
This is pack racing right now in open wheel cars.
Yeah, our leaders working their way through slower traffic once again. As the second and fourth place battle, and then there's Simon Sykes in the distance.
Another fastest lap.
Yep, even quicker, a 22.54 for Simon.
And now 6 seconds separates him from the group ahead. 1.5 seconds is the magic number that he needs to get within to that draft that these high downforce fixed setup cars are throwing off. So once he gets within there, he can let out a bit of breath relief, and hopefully that will be within the last lap.
You ride with our third place runner, Justin Arsenault, As looking back to the car of Alessandro Di Tullio. And then it's just in the distance, you can see that red number 9 of Simon Sykes as he continues to close down on this battle. He may run out of time, unfortunately, before he's able to catch him.
Well, he's got 5 minutes to do it. That's about 4 laps here.
Yeah, just passing the 5-minute mark.
And
you can see the draft really working for Di Tullio.
I just saw out of the corner of my eye, Justin Arsenault is using all the inside tracking. He's actually shot out the pit cone on iRacing. And he goes a little bit wide. And around the outside, Di Tullio, opportunistic as ever, jumps up into third.
Yeah, Arsenault kept his braking a little bit too late and went wide there at turn number 1. We get a great replay of it. He's weaving, trying to break that draft. And just a little too late on the brakes. He goes wide, gets 4 wheels off in the grass, and that says thank you very much to Alessandro Di Tullio, and around he goes.
The entry to turn 1 is so tricky because you're going off of a little bit of banking down onto flat ground, and there's a noticeable bump right there, and your car is sideways going into there. It's going to upset the car a lot, and with that added weight, you're going to spin out very easily.
The battle at the front between Ibrahim and Anderson continues unabated as we go back to this third place battle with Arsenault back in the lead. And that's Di Tullio spinning and allows Sykes by. Sykes is up to 4th. So Di Tullio with an issue. We get a great replay of it here. Here's the 13 of Di Tullio.
He got out into the grass just like Chris Long did.
Yep.
And so many other drivers before him, but he got spun. And was there a little bit of a tap from the car passing him? Because there was not a lot of space out there.
Yeah, that was Arsenault going by, and Sykes as well. So Di Tullio back to 5th now in the closing moments. And yeah, he just dropped a wheel off to the outside. That's identical to the spin that Chris Long had. And both Arsenault and Sykes got by. Sykes is now only 2.5 seconds behind Justin Arsenault. So a podium spot is still in his grasp.
And he's got the Red Bull car in front of him, giving him some extra oomph to catch up to Arsenault. And going slow, Alessandro Di Tullio, he's still having problems.
Yeah, coming through that long turn and just got a little wide. Again, once you have a spin like that knocking you out of contention in a battle, it takes a lap or two to get your wits back about you.
And also the tire grip is so low when they get extremely overheated. Heat's good for the tires, but too much heat just turns these things from grippy, awesome hand-cooked tires into wet pudding.
Exactly. That's the battle for the lead. You can see both cars in the shot now as Ibrahim with just about a second, and he's been able to maintain that gap at just about a second throughout most of this race. So Victor Anderson may have to be content with a second-place finish, but he's close enough that he can get in that draft on the final lap, and we're coming up to that here momentarily. Meanwhile, Simon Sykes back behind Justin Arsenault in that 4th position, only about 2 seconds back. There's Simon.
He's got past the lap car ahead of him. Justin Arsenault is behind Andrew Houston right now, so he's going to be getting a good old bite of draft as he's going down the back straight. I believe Andrew's just going to let him by right there. Yes, he is. We're looking back at the battle for the lead, and that gap has actually been moving away as we are going 1 lap to go for the KCR Simulators F4 US Esports Championship here at Indianapolis.
Muhammad Ibrahim qualified 3rd and has took over the lead with that issue in the first turn that knocked Simon Sykes back several spots and has not relinquished it. He has led virtually every lap of this race. Victor Anderson, about a second behind, has not been able to close the gap much closer than that, and he is currently looking for a podium spot in his first round of racing here with us in the F4 Championship. Victor had some success in the Formula Regional Championship just concluded, so he's picking right up where he left off. But Muhammad Ibrahim, new to us in the F4 Championship for this weekend, and starting his campaign off with a bang. Also, Justin Arsenault making his first start with us and solidly in a podium spot. But let's not forget, Simon Sykes is closing quickly on Arsenault. He's got it under a second. Can Sykes get the job done on this last lap?
Yeah, Abraham and Anderson within a second with each other as they're entering Indianapolis. Short shoot and Indianapolis 1. They're going up the banking, and it's going to be a race down the line and a hand in the air to take round 1 for Muhammad Ibrahim to take round 1. And now the battle for third. Simon Sykes
and Arsenault. Sykes gets the draft. Is he close enough to get to him before they get to the line? Arsenault hugging that inside line, trying to get as much side draft as he can, and across the line he comes, and he will hang on to third spot just by a whisker. But I'm with you, Austin. Simon Sykes' recovery drive, definitely the drive of the race. Alejandro Di Tullio, after some off-course excursions, makes his way home in 5th position. Still waiting for Chris Long. There he is. That's not Jack Harrison behind him. So Chris comfortably in position. That's the 22 is the car of Cade McKee. Yeah, he's a lap down. So and there's the 5 of Jack Harrison as he comes home in 7th spot. And Luboev Ozoretkovskaya, forgive me for that butchering of her last name, a great run into 8th position here, up 5 spots from where she qualified. And already across the line has Aaron Roofs, 14 places up, and he is the winner of the Hard Charger Award for this first round of racing.
And after a crazy, crazy race 1, it is all over for round 1 of the KCR Simulators F4 US Esports Championship. And wow, what a race.
As you can see, Ibrahim, Anderson, and Arsenault, your podium finishers. We'll be chatting with them in the interview room here in just a few minutes. Simon Sykes with a great recovery drive back to 4th after starting on the pole. Alejandro Di Tullio, despite a few spins, manages to salvage a 5th place finish. Chris Long, also off course at least once in this race, but a good job for 6th. Jack Harrison in a 7th spot. And Luboev Ozoretkovskaya coming home in 8th, the last car on the lead lap. Aaron Roofs, the first car a lap down, winning the Hard Charger Award. Greg Pearson, Marco Kachik, Bruno Carneru, Arias Dukmagian, Kenneth Garcia, Cade McKee, Yannick Rowland, Andrew Hewson, and Will De La Rosa, your top 18. And then rounding out the rest of the field, Aiden Yoder coming home in 19th spot. Omar Khan in the 90 car in 20th. Jeremy Fairburn in 21st. Luke Welcome, Flynn Mullaney, and Emerald Hopkins rounding out the 24 car field.
Yeah, that lap 1 incident, I know we didn't get a good look at it, but we will actually be getting a video out onto the FR America's socials of the lap 1 replay after this race, so stay tuned for that. But first, we got our interviews with our race winner with us.
Waiting for Muhammad Ibrahim to step up to the microphone. Muhammad, are you there with us?
Muhammad, this is Austin in the commentary booth. Do you read?
Can you hear me?
There we
Yes,
go.
we can.
Hello. Yes.
Congratulations
Hello.
for your first race with us. Qualified 3rd, survived the carnage into the first turn, and came home with a well-deserved victory. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was quite a tough race with the lap cars and trying to survive, and it was pretty easy out in the front. When I got in the lead, I had the pace to pull, but never got a chance to pull because kept on getting slowed down by the lap cars. But it was a really nice race, and I would really thank all of you who organized this event, and it's a really awesome event.
Indeed. Congratulations to you. Again, a great way to start your career with the F4 US Championship, and for the KCR Simulators F4 US Esports Championship. Victor Anderson, who has some history with us in the Formula Regional Championship that we just concluded, kept you honest, but wasn't able to get past. So congratulations once again on a win in the first round of racing.
Yeah, I really like to thank you a lot. I'd like to thank the commentators. I would like to thank the people who organized this event. It was nice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mohammed. Congratulations again.
Thank you. Bye.
Waiting for Victor Anderson to make his way to the microphone. Victor, our second place finisher.
Can you hear me?
Hi, Victor. Welcome, and congratulations on your second place finish. You kept Muhammad honest, but this was all about surviving that first corner.
Yeah, qualified second, and somehow I survived the first corner, and then on it was just trying to catch the lead and trying to get a gap to the third place driver. Yeah, and that succeeded, but I never really got a chance to go for an overtake, and that's a shame, I think.
Yeah, exactly. With that long straightaway, we sort of figured that drafting would really play into play, but you had to get close enough for that draft to really take effect. And it looks like Muhammad was able to keep you just about a second back, which is kind of the magic number to be able to make a drafting pass on that front straightaway.
We were really close in lap times, I think, and he nailed the exits almost all laps, so that it was difficult.
Yeah, your best lap times were identical. So obviously you both ran at the same pace, but he was able to get by in that first turn melee. And anyway, congratulations for your podium, and we'll look for bigger and better things next weekend at Barbara Motorsports Park.
Thank you. We go for the win that time.
Okay, congratulations, Victor.
And we're waiting for our third place driver, Justin Arsenault, but he's actually not made his way into the interview waiting area. So I believe we are just going to go by a text notification that he's had a great race and happy to be on the podium for us for round one.
Justin Arsenault with a great battle with Alejandro Di Tullio and Simon Sykes in the closing stages. Made a race of it for that third spot, but Justin was able to hold them off and take a podium in his first race with us in the KCR Simulators F4 US Esports Championship. So again, apologies for the technical difficulties, but we managed to get through it. Austin, thank you so much for filling in when my computer puked on me at the right at the beginning of the race.
Don't worry. Thank you, Marco, for stepping in as well. Unfortunately, there will not be any Instagram interviews after this race, so y'all can have a good old night relaxing and enjoying the rest of your Tuesday nights. It's certainly been a hectic one for us here at Apex Racing TV and on the F4 Championship channel. And, well, thank you, John, for joining us in commentary. Thank you, Mark Bombonera, for the wonderful production. And John, let us next week we're at Barber.
Indeed, we're at Barbara Motorsports Park on the Tuesday night of June 2nd, excuse me. And then the following weekend, we're on the road course down at Homestead Miami Speedway, Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course on June 16th, and the Fan Choice on June 23rd. Voting for that, just go to the F4 US Championship website, f4uschampionship.com, and you'll have a link there that'll give you the opportunity to vote for your choice of track for our season finale. So on behalf of the entire crew at SCCA Sports Pro Racing, as well as everyone at Apex for putting on this championship, we'll say goodbye for now, and we'll look for you next weekend as we come to you from Barbara Motorsports Park as round 2 of the KCR Simulators F4 US Esports Championship coming up next. Thanks so much. I'm John Phippen. Good night.